Good morning, everybody. Rise and grind. What's going on, everybody? Game time, Brian, otherwise known as the mailman. Putting on a little hand lotion. It is cold. Baby, it's cold outside. Anyway, we know why we're here. We know what we're talking about this morning. And it is a circus. Excuse me. It is the circus that is the Dallas Cowboys. As you know, Dallas Cowboys finally fired their head coach, Mike McCarthy. And I'm looking over a poll here by The Athletic, and we'll share the screen. We will share the screen. There we go. Make sure it's nice and big for you. There it is. Pause. Cowboys coaching survey. Did Dallas make the right decision? Deion, Ben Johnson, top choices. 8 days after the conclusion of the regular season, Dallas Cowboys parted ways with their head coach, Mike McCarthy. They ran a survey. 65.8 say yes, they made the right decision. Surprisingly, 34.2. So it is almost 2,500 responses. This is not a bad poll for the Cowboys. Even more importantly, do you approve of the way Jerry Jones handled it? 78%, almost 79%. Again, almost 2,500 responses. So the Cowboys are coming out looking pretty good. Again, we don't have a problem with the change of coach. You know, I said that I was ready to move on after the playoff game. I seen enough leaves falling. So now we have this morning. Now, we all know about the Deion Sanders. We've heard it. I've covered it. People say, is it a publicity stunt? Is it a publicity stunt? Well, I'm going to share a couple articles. Let me see here. Okay. Deion Sanders. This is from Yardbarker. Adam Schefter shared his latest. We all know about that. Because I had said maybe it was a publicity stunt because he has a contract on his desk to be signed. It's an extension. More money. More money. More money. More money. However, Dallas, we all know me well. Speaking of Dallas Cowboys, everybody's focused on Deion. Why are we focused on Deion? Well, go watch my last video with Deion on the cover. Well, not my last video, but a few videos back. We need to bring that shine back to the star. We just do. No interview is set up as of now. Conversations are ongoing. Now you can say, oh, yeah, we're just trying to get more money from Colorado. Stay tuned on that. Some could also think that Sanders would be involved for no other reason than to receive a counter from Colorado. Schefter discredited that too. Coach Prime said, a lot of people are now saying that Deion, he was talking to Deion, and it's a leverage play. I brought that up to Deion, and he said, that ain't true, and I don't need to negotiate for it. Again, Deion holds all the cards. He don't have to have this. He could just tell them, I'll stay if you give me this, and they're going to give him that. That's just how it is. That's how he feels. He doesn't need any negotiating play, noted Schefter. Sanders is a big of a name as a team could hire, considering that he'd bring anywhere. He'd bring it. Oh yeah, he'd bring it to anywhere he'd be. Regardless, if he brings it back to Boulder or takes it to the pros in Arlington. Everybody's waiting to see what happens with Deion, said Schefter. Now, I would tell you this. Deion Sanders was rumored to contact the Raiders about their head coaching job. We can believe that. We could not. Again, the Raiders don't hold a top pick. Maybe they're close enough to do a Manning ploy where you say, my son ain't playing here, my son ain't playing there. We don't know. But I think Deion has resigned himself to the fact that he's not going to coach Shedeur. And that's fine. The odds of that were never really that high. The Giants have already said they're retaining their coaches. Sorry, Cleveland. He ain't playing for the Browns, in my opinion. The Tennessee Titans, I think they trade the pick. I think they're going to. I don't believe, and this is what I'm going to say. I don't believe that anybody covets these quarterbacks as much as people think. Shedeur has a long way to go to be a great pro. I'm not hammering Shedeur, but to be at the top of the draft, I believe, is a lot to expect. Cam Ward is a better, more ready quality product, in my opinion. Cam Ward is maybe not the athlete, but he's got a better arm, more pocket presence. I don't know. Pick your flavor of ice cream. But the bottom line is either one of them are really elite quarterback prospects, in my opinion. I believe if Drew Aller decided to come out to the pros after the combine, he would show that he's the best quarterback in this draft, and that would be the quarterback at Penn State. He's getting comparisons to Josh Allen, of all people. So Deion knows he's not going to coach his son. It would be nice if he could, but again, I don't know that Deion would coach a lot of franchises in the NFL. I really don't. I believe Deion would love to coach the Cowboys. I want to bring up another article. Let's share this. All right. Because I believe this may be an issue. The Colorado head coach Deion Sanders previously declared that he would only coach NFL if he could coach his son, Buffalo's quarterback Deion Sanders. This is the latest from this morning from Adam Schefter. Let's see here. I got to find it again. I had it. Bleacher Report. Okay. This is the important part. Colorado head coach Deion Sanders previously declaration that he would only coach NFL if he could coach his son may not factor into his chances of becoming the Dallas Cowboys' next head coach. During Thursday's episode, you could watch it at 5:30 this afternoon, this morning. It's on now. On Get Up, Adam Schefter reported that Sanders would go to Dallas and be thrilled to coach Dak Prescott.
Shefty, let's run the hurry up. There's a lot of head coaching stuff out there. Let's start with what's about to happen in Detroit.
Alice Hall yesterday. Just the idea of that seems so interesting. And he met with Bears officials throughout the day yesterday.
He's going
through
to
his
Chicago.
first head coaching interview. He also is expected to speak at some point with the New Orleans Saints, but the Bears spent Wednesday with the former Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. And meanwhile, speaking of the Dallas Cowboys and what they do next, everybody focused in on Deion Sanders and the conversations that he's had so far with Jerry Jones. Now, my understanding is no interview set up. Conversations will continue. Deion said to me he's intrigued with the job, and clearly Jerry Jones is intrigued with him. Those two men know each other so well that they don't have to have a lot of conversation. But in the interim, Dallas is looking at other coaching candidates they've reached out to and will interview Robert Saleh, the former Jets head coach. They will interview the former Vikings head coach, Leslie Frazier. But everybody's waiting to see what happens with Deion Sanders.
That's the power couple I've been calling it here, the sports power couple. I've given them a couple named Jerryon. And I am rooting for it to happen for any number of reasons.
Michael Keegan-Key?
And so is our guy Hawk. No, Jerryon. Jerry Jones and Deion Sanders.
Let's see if I can find it.
The door. And the one, listen, a year ago, the Dallas Cowboys were debating whether or not to keep Mike McCarthy, and they let Dan Quinn out the door.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Dan Quinn has done in Washington beyond anything else is completely revamp the culture there to where it's a different type of organization. And again, now we'll go to Deion Sanders. I can't help but think of about 16, 17 months ago, I had an NFL general manager call me up and he said, I want you to write this down right now. The next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys is going to be Deion Sanders. Take it to the bank because of the respect that exists between Deion Sanders and Jerry Jones and vice versa. And a lot of people out there now saying that Deion Sanders is using this as a leverage ploy
to get more money from Colorado.
Right. And I brought that up to Deion Sanders. And he said, that ain't true. And I don't need any negotiating ploy. I'm me. That's how he feels. He doesn't need any negotiating ploy.
Big dog status.
That's right. It happens to be 100% right. Deion Sanders, listen, we also talk sometimes, the conversation here, Jerry.
I don't want to get, I'm probably going to have to cut that out as it is, but ESPN sucks when sharing their information, so it is what it is. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. If Deion Sanders was not going to be the coach, why wouldn't he just come out and say, no, out of respect, I'm pulling my name? Is it really about the money? He just said he's Deion Sanders. He don't need it. So put in the comments. Let me know what you think. Deion hasn't killed it by now after looking into the Dallas situation. If he hasn't killed it by now, maybe he is in play. I mean, seriously in play. Now, right now, we got Robert Saleh coming in on Saturday, and we have Leslie Frazier on Monday. Again, you know how that works. You have to interview 2 Rooney Rule minority coaches. That'll be done. The Deion conversations do not account for that. They literally have to set up an interview. So they'll have this knocked out. Hearing some of the names, nobody's going to be happy with Kellen Moore now. Sorry, Kellen, you're not getting a Dallas job. As much as I think that's their fallback, I don't want that. Do you? Put in the comments. Do you want Kellen Moore? I don't. So we sit here. We need to identify our quarterback within the next 2 weeks. By the Super Bowl, you better have your coach and your quarterback on the same page. You better have your coach in place heading into the draft. You need to decide what direction, what kind of player that you're going to draft. That does make a difference. If you're bringing in a defensive coach, what kind of defense does you run? There's certain defensive tackles that won't fit in certain systems? Yada, yada, yada. Does this new coach like bigger receivers, smaller receivers? You need a slot guy. There's a lot that goes into it. So Dallas needs to get this figured out pretty soon. So I like the fact, and we, on our live stream, we did talk about a few of the coaches. We did talk about some of the coaches that I think that are in play here. They're talking to 73-year-old Pete Carroll. why they're bringing in ex-Ohio State old man coach who ex-Florida Gator. I don't know why they would bring Urban Meyer in. I have no idea why they would bring Urban in to talk. Now, they're not scheduling a meeting. They floated his name out there. Obviously, Aaron Glenn already says he wants to coach the Jets. We'll see how that works. Detroit is still playing. Speaking of playing, let's get back to the main camera. Speaking of playing, we'll be here to cover this weekend's games. Just wanted to go over that real quick. Texas Chiefs line is 8. Has not moved since last night. The Chiefs are favored by 8 over the Texans. The Lions dropped a half a point. It seems like a lot of these games are dropping a half a point. The Lions were a 9.5-point favorite over the Commanders. Now they're a 9-point favorite. Eagles line dropped again. It was at 7.5, went to 7. Now it's down to 6. Eagles are a 6-point favorite over the Rams. And Bills are a 1-point underdog at home. Yes, I may have to put some shekels on that because I think the Bills are winning that game. So stay tuned. We'll be covering all of the games right here. And as well as the national championship game on Monday. I got to hit the road right now. I am heading to a specialist appointment that I had planned as my yearly. And then, so you'll see a video from me on the road. I don't know how long it'll take to upload. But there it is. Deion Sanders is not off the board. It's not a negotiating ploy. So I'll be interested to see where this goes. I think Dallas needs Deion Sanders as the head coach. I think that's the one guy that could outshine Jerry. We talked about it on my video the other day. And I think Jerry would be okay to give the shine to Deion. He's like a son to him. I'll be curious to see if that does happen, if they keep Mike Zimmer around, because him and Mike Zimmer, Deion and Mike are tight. Very curious. Deion has a huge coaching staff at Colorado. Again, Jerry. You remember Jerry had a problem with the size of the coaching staff under McCarthy? I don't think he would have a problem with that here. There's no salary cap, Jerry. So prove me wrong, Jerry. Prove me wrong. Go get Deion. I'll probably have my heart broken again, but I believe it's not over by a long shot. And to hear that he would be okay to coach Dak Prescott, which is a big deal, because I said, I don't really know. I don't know. That's a big deal. So with that being said, I will talk to everybody later. And just remember one thing, everybody. We still them boys.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Late.
So what's it going to be, Deion? Football or baseball?
Both, boss.
Both?
Both.
Offense or defense?
Both.
Both?
Both.
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 Pizza Hut.
Meat lovers or stuffed crust pizza?
Both.
Both? Both.
Want it all? Now Pizza Hut offers our Lovers Line toppings. Meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, or supreme. Piled high in a stuffed crust pizza.
So what'll it be, Deion? 15, 20 million?
Both.
Both. You'll love the stuff we're made of.
Don't miss any of the game. Call Pizza Hut and have your stuffed crust pizza delivered right away.